I woke up in the morgue. Those words don't even sound real when I say them out loud. But that's what happened. I opened my eyes in a place meant only for the dead. The air was cold, biting against my skin, and the smell of chemicals burned my nose. For a long, frozen moment, I couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't even remember who I was. All I knew was that something wasn't right. Before that moment, I remembered hearing the steady beep of a heart monitor, the whispers of nurses, and the metallic clang of medical tools being put away. Then came the silence, that dreadful, endless silence that doctors know too well. Someone said softly, "Asterisk, she's gone." Asterisk, then the sound of my daughter's sobs filled the room. The warmth of her hand slipped away from mine. I wanted to hold on, I tried, but everything went dark. When I opened my eyes again, I wasn't in my hospital bed. I was lying on a cold metal table. A white sheet was draped over me. My skin felt like ice, my lips dry and cracked. I turned my head slowly, and a small tag caught my eye, a tag tied to my wrist. My name was written there in neat black letters, followed by a single, chilling word, asterisk, asterisk, deceased, asterisk, asterisk. That's when I felt it, a faint, trembling heartbeat inside me. Weak, unsteady, but asterisk there, asterisk, I gasped, but no sound came out. My throat was raw, my chest heavy. I tried to lift my hand, but it barely twitched. My body was frozen like it didn't belong to me anymore. Then I heard it, the sound that would haunt me for the rest of my life. Soft, distant, but heartbreakingly beautiful. It wasn't music. It wasn't wind. It was asterisk crying dot asterisk, but not human crying. No, this was something else. It was layered, harmonic, like 1,000 voices weeping in perfect sorrow. It wrapped around me like a blanket of grief and light. For a moment, I thought I was dreaming, or maybe this was heaven, and the angels were mourning for the souls who never found peace. But then I realized the truth. They were crying for me. My body may have been declared dead, but my soul was still hovering, trapped somewhere between earth and eternity. I could feel their sadness, their struggle, like they were fighting for me to return. And in that frozen stillness, with my heartbeat barely whispering beneath my ribs, I made a promise to myself and to the heavens above. If I wake up from this, if I live again, I will tell the world what I heard that night. Because the sound of angels crying is not something you forget. When I finally managed to take a breath, it sounded like a ghost sighing through cracked glass. My lungs burned, my ribs ached, and every inch of my body screamed that it shouldn't be moving. I blinked, and my eyelashes brushed against the white sheet covering my face. I pushed it away slowly, my fingers stiff, blue, trembling like dry leaves in the wind. That's when I saw where I was. The room was dimly lit by a single flickering bulb hanging from the ceiling. The walls were pale gray, stained with time, and the air was heavy, thick with the scent of antiseptic and cold metal. Rows of silver drawers lined one side of the room, each with a small tag, names, dates, numbers. The silence wasn't empty. It was listening. Every sound I made seemed too loud, like it didn't belong. My body shivered, though not from the cold alone. My heart, that fragile, stubborn heart, thudded against my chest, weak but defiant. I stared down at myself. My skin looked pale, waxy, almost lifeless. The hospital gown clung to me, and the tag on my wrist mocked me. Deceased. I tried to remember how I got here. The last clear memory was the doctor's voice, calm, practiced, heartless in its routine, saying, "Time of death, 3:12 a.m. I remembered my daughter's scream, the sound of something falling to the floor, and then silence, a silence so thick it swallowed me whole. And now, I was here. I swung my legs slowly off the table. My feet touched the icy floor, and it was like stepping into the grave itself. My knees buckled. I grabbed the side of the table for support. My breath came out in soft gasps, fog forming in the cold air. That's when I heard it again. That same haunting sound, the crying, but it was closer now, louder. It echoed off the walls like the room itself was weeping. I turned toward the sound, my heart pounding in my ears. And there, near the far corner, I saw it, a faint shimmer, like golden dust, suspended in the air. At first, I thought it was my eyes playing tricks on me, but the shimmer grew brighter, forming shapes, soft, glowing outlines, like wings folding and unfolding in slow motion. A warmth filled the air, and for a brief moment, the cold didn't hurt anymore. Then, I heard a voice, gentle, sad, but filled with power that made my bones tremble. "You were not meant to be here yet," it said. The words weren't spoken aloud. They vibrated inside my soul, echoing through my heartbeat. I fell to my knees, tears freezing before they could fall. I wasn't supposed to be here. Death had taken the wrong person. And heaven was trying to send me back. The sound of that voice, that gentle, echoing whisper stayed with me long after it faded. Asterisk, you were not meant to be here yet. Asterisk. Those words felt like they carried the weight of heaven itself. I looked around the morgue, expecting to see someone, a doctor, a nurse, anyone. But there was no one, only the dim light, the cold air, and the rows of the dead resting silently in their drawers. A room that should have been still was now alive with something unseen. The air shifted, warmer now, like invisible wings had brushed past me. I tried to speak, but my throat burned, dry and cracked. "Who's there?" I whispered. The sound came out hoarse, the voice of someone who'd been gone too long. No answer, only a soft hum that filled the air, low and rhythmic, almost like the sound of a heartbeat that wasn't mine. Then, slowly, I began to hear them. Asterisk not one, not two, but many, whispering, praying. Some were weeping. Others, singing. It wasn't English, or any language I knew, but I understood every word in my soul. I could feel them, the angels I had heard before. They were close. I could sense their sorrow, their struggle. It felt as if they were fighting for me, fighting to guide me back to the world of the living. Suddenly, the air snapped. A metallic asterisk clang asterisk echoed behind me. I turned sharply. The morgue door creaked open. A man stepped in tall, wearing a white coat, holding a clipboard. His steps were slow, deliberate, unaware that one of his bodies had woken up. He approached my table. I could hear the scratch of his pen as he wrote something down. My body tensed. My lips parted, and with every ounce of strength left in me, I forced out a broken sound. "Help me." He froze. The pen fell from his hand, clattering to the floor. His eyes widened, horror and disbelief flashing across his face. He took a step closer, his lips trembling. "No. No, that's not possible," he whispered. I tried again. "Please." He staggered back, his hand covering his mouth. Then he turned and ran, the sound of his shoes slapping against the tiles. The door swinging open and slamming shut behind him. For a few seconds, all I could hear was my own heartbeat, fast, desperate, alive. And then, silence again. But not for long. The angelic crying began to fade, softer now, almost like they were leaving me behind. One last voice spoke, so faint it barely reached me. Asterisk, you will remember this, but they will not believe you. Asterisk. And just like that, the light vanished. The room was empty again, except for me, and the sound of my heart stubbornly beating where it shouldn't have been beating at all. That was the moment I realized I had been given something rare. A second chance, and a message the world wasn't ready to hear. I don't know how long I sat there on that cold floor, wrapped in silence and disbelief. The world around me felt like a dream, or maybe I was still dreaming. My breath fogged the air, proof that I was alive, but my body still trembled like it hadn't caught up to the truth yet. Then, I saw the light again. Not bright, not blinding, but soft. It hovered in the corner of the room, like a flickering candle refusing to go out. It swayed gently, warm and golden. and with every flicker I felt my heart grow stronger. I closed my eyes, and for a moment, I wasn't in the morgue anymore. I was standing in a place filled with light. The air was warm, the kind of warmth that doesn't touch your skin, but your soul. There were no walls, no shadows, just endless gold. And in that space stood figures. Tall, graceful, glowing like dawn. Their faces were hidden, but I could feel their love radiating toward me. They didn't speak in words, but I understood them. Asterisk, you have been heard. Asterisk, one said. Asterisk, your purpose is not finished. Asterisk, said another. Tears filled my eyes. Why me? I whispered. Why bring me back? The nearest figure stepped forward, the air humming softly. Asterisk, because faith leaves marks that heaven can see. Asterisk, it said. Asterisk, and yours still shines. Asterisk, I wanted to stay there. I wanted to rest in that warmth forever. But then, I heard another sound, faint, desperate, human. Voices calling my name. Nurses shouting. Machines beeping again. Reality was pulling me back. The light around me started to dim. But one of the angels, the same one who had first spoken to me, leaned closer and whispered something that burned into my soul. Asterisk, when you wake, remember the sound of our tears. They are proof that heaven fights for those who still believe. Asterisk. And just like that, the light faded. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the cold floor. The morgue door burst open, and two nurses rushed in with the doctor. Their faces were pale with shock. One of them dropped to her knees beside me, checking for a pulse. Her fingers trembled as she pressed them against my wrist. Then her eyes widened. She's alive, she whispered. The doctor just stood there, frozen. That's impossible, he muttered. But I was breathing. I was crying. I was alive. They lifted me onto a stretcher, wrapping a warm blanket around me. But even through the fabric, I could feel that glow still clinging to my skin, that same gentle warmth from the light. It wasn't leaving me. It never would. Because once you've seen heaven's sorrow, you never forget the touch of its mercy. It's been months since that night. The night I woke up in a place meant for the dead, and walked out breathing. The doctors called it a medical miracle. They said maybe the machines failed. Maybe my heartbeat was too faint to detect. Maybe it was science, but deep down, I knew better. There are no machines in heaven. There are no medical errors in the realm of angels. What happened to me was divine. 4 weeks after, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard it again, that sound of wings, that soft, aching cry. It wasn't sad anymore. It was peaceful, almost like a lullaby. But there was something about it that kept echoing in my heart, a reminder that I had been given a gift. Time. You see, when you've touched death, life doesn't look the same anymore. I no longer fear pain, sickness, or even the thought of dying, because I've seen what waits on the other side. I've felt it, that love, that mercy, that light so pure it makes this world look dim. But I also carry a burden, the memory of their tears. The angels didn't cry because they were sad to lose me. They cried because they were fighting for me. Every tear they shed was a prayer, a spark of divine power pulling my soul back from the edge. Sometimes, late at night, I still wake up and feel that warmth near me. That golden hum that filled the morgue when I first opened my eyes. I whisper a prayer of gratitude and say, I remember. Because I do. I remember their voices. I remember their light. And I remember the promise they left me with. You will remember this. But they will not believe you. They were right. When I tell people what happened, some smile politely. Others call it imagination, trauma, or delusion. But that's all right. Faith doesn't need validation. Truth doesn't need applause. I don't tell this story for them. I tell it for you, the one who's lost hope. The one who's sitting in the dark thinking it's over. Because it's not over. If you're still breathing, it means heaven hasn't finished with you yet. I was dead, declared, tagged. and stored away, but God whispered, not yet, He sent His messengers to cry for me, to fight for me, to lift me out of death's cold hands. And if He can do that for me, a tired old woman lying in a morgue, He can do it for you too. So the next time life feels cold and empty, close your eyes and listen. You might just hear them too. The angels crying, not in sorrow, but in love. Because heaven still believes in you.